This is Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine. Delighted today to be joined at quite a late hour on Tuesday night with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, appreciate you giving me the time. First thing first, how's things, mate? How are you?
Yeah, good. It's been a mad couple of weeks. I mean, we had obviously Cafu against Eubank. Then we had Katie Taylor against Serrano. The ring card in New York with Shakur and a great night. And then fresh off Texas with Bam Rodriguez unifying again. Pacheco, Ammo, big card. Obviously, Usyk Dubois back home on the zone. Another massive event for the UK. And yeah, just some very brief downtime before we get going again. Some big announcements coming as we gear up for August, September, October, November, and a couple of, like I said, major World Championship announcements, stadium announcements, and yeah, all in the coming days.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, let's just reflect on Texas. By all means, a pretty successful night. Good performances from Bam Rodriguez, Diego Pacheco, Ammo Williams, Amari Jones making headlines, Nishan
Yeah.
Dev. So yeah, happy overall with the show in
Yeah,
Texas.
really happy. I mean, I think our stable in America is second to none. I really do. And obviously, kind of the three kind of figureheads at the moment. Shakur, obviously, see what happens with him in the future. Jerome Boots Ennis, massive future ahead. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, obviously other fighters, Dimitri Bivol. I mean, we've got multiple fighters in the pound for pound list now. Bam is definitely someone who, at 25 years of age, we are extremely proud of. I mean, this is a guy. I've got to shout out Kevin Rooney as well, our US matchmaker, because Robert Garcia and Kevin Rooney really saw the hype with Jesse Bam Rodriguez, saw that this guy was definitely the one to go on and become a pound per pound star in the sport. Um, we backed him. We believed in him. He took his chances. He's never turned a fight down. And we got to a position now where he is top five pound for pound in the world, and another great unification victory. Obviously, a lot of pressure going into that because of the ring card on November 22nd as well, and that was announced not against our will, but how His Excellency does things. It's like, could we just kind of wait for us to beat Cafu? Nope, we're doing a press conference. Can he come? I'm like, no, it's 8 days before the fight. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal. There was a lot of pressure on him, but I was very proud of him for coming through. And he's an extraordinary talent. Like when you think about a lot of those guys on the pound for pound list, most of them are in their 30s, and in the final stages of their career. Jesse hasn't even begun. I really believe he's going to be, if not future pound for pound number one, very close.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it scary when you've got a guy who's what 25 and they've
Yeah.
achieved, and you look at his resume, like the run he's been on has been insane. The run
Mm.
he's gonna go on, obviously, next
I
boxing Puma
really feel, yeah, I
Masters.
really feel like that pound for pound. I mean, the pound for pound debate is always, you
Mm.
know, obviously it's opinionated. And for me, when you look at the fighters that he's beaten already at the age he's at, I just feel like it's arguably stronger than the recent runs of the likes of Inoue or Crawford, and they're amazing fighters. But really, obviously now you have to say, in my opinion, Usyk is the standout pound for pound number one at the moment. If Crawford beats Canelo, arguably he goes there. But like if you look at Inoue's recent run, and no disrespect, he's fighting at Ahmad Aliyev, but I think right now Bam is red hot, and I really feel like he has to force his way into that top five. And if he beats Martinez as well, what a run! What a run of fights! And it's so refreshing. Like sometimes you work with a fighter who's so good, you have absolutely no fear of putting them in with anyone. Like I just literally know that anyone I put him in with, he beats.
Yeah,
And that's really the same with Shakur at the moment as well, and Boots and Bivol. And it's
yeah.
amazing to work with those kind of fighters because they're just exceptional.
I saw sort of a bit of noise on Fight Week about a potential fight with Bam and Nakatani over discussions
Mm.
over that. Is that still a fight that you look for in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we got offered that fight for the December card in Riyadh about 3 weeks ago, and Bam and Robert said yes immediately. And there's a bit of talk in the press conference after I said that Nakatani didn't accept the fight,
Yeah.
and Robert was kind of had Nakatani's back because obviously the fighter always accepts it, but Nakatani's with Mr. Honda, who kind of has like a consultancy position with Bam, and we all kind of work together. And Mr. Honda's quite funny about putting his guys in together. So, for instance, Mr. Honda never wanted Bam to fight Chocolatito
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
did. And he was like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't put my guys in together. And that was the same for Nakatani. So I do feel like that is an incredible fight. But I also think that Nakatani's probably got his eye on Inoue. Maybe he should have his eye on Akhmadaliev instead when he beats him. But I think that's a fight for the future. I really, one of the pleasing things, Jesse made weight well for this fight. I think
Mm.
there's a feeling that the bantamweight move is not too far away. But if he beats Puma, which I believe he will, he's only one belt away from undisputed. So if we can wrap that up, it would be pretty cool before the inevitable move to bantam. And I believe, he's already. The only regret was he's actually a 108 pounder, a light flyweight when he started,
Mhm.
and he missed the world title there because he jumped up to super
Yeah.
flyweight on a week's notice to fight Quadras for the world title. So
Mm.
we kind of missed the world championship at we missed the world championship at 108. So sorry, my Zoom's just gone a bit
That's right.
wonky.
Oh, sorry, you've just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
yeah, you're good, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we missed the world title at 108. So obviously he's won flyweight unified there, super flyweight unified there. He'll be at bantam soon, next
Mm.
summer. And then probably super bantam. I guess if Inoue stays there, that's when all the discussion will talk about that mega fight between Bam and Inoue. Miles away at the moment, but in a year's time, who knows?
Brilliant stuff. I wanted to move on to Diego Pacheco. Obviously an impressive win over Trevor McCumbee on Saturday night, but I saw a bit of movement in the WBO rankings actually of him actually dropping down from number one, Terence Crawford number one, Shiraz number two, then him number three.
Yeah.
What was the guess? What was the
Yeah,
deal
do you
with
know
that?
what? Funnily you should say that. I just text Gustavo Oliveira from
Yeah,
the WBO. Um, I love Gustavo, but it's just the most bizarre decision. And I'm
yeah.
not talking about Hamza. I'm talking about to install Terence
Mm.
Crawford as Canelo's mandatory. And I'm really going to hold my tongue here because I know it's not
Yeah,
my style, but I really don't want to fall out with Gustavo and the WBO. But
yeah,
let's just say it's the old boys club. Do you know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
like do Canelo a little favor. Put Crawford in as mandatory, yeah, and then Canelo won't have to fight mandatory for
Yeah.
another year or 18 months as a super champion. So I'm not going to say anything else. All I'm going
Yeah.
to say is it's boxing. But what I
Mm.
will say is, Gustavo Oliveira, this is my appeal to you to order Hamza Shiraz against Diego Pacheco for the mandatory position for the WBO world title.
Okay.
Because that is one of the best fights in boxing. That is a 24-year-old against a 26-year-old, two guys who I believe are the future at the 168-pound division. Make the fight. You've also just ordered Callum Smith to fight David Morrell out of nowhere. No problem. We'll also take that fight. But you want to order those types of fights, order Hamza Shiraz against Diego Pacheco for a final eliminator. And we'll accept that fight. It's a brilliant fight.
That is a great fight. That
So,
is a
yeah, I
great
was very
fight.
surprised after beating McCumbee to drop down two places.
Yeah.
But this is the bizarre world of boxing that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, on the topic of bizarre worlds, I'm sure we'll get into it, but just first things first, what was your reaction to Oleksandr Usyk against Daniel Dubois on Saturday night?
Just incredible, if I'm honest. I mean, I know we'll come on to the
Mm.
parties and,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, but um, you can't, I don't like the way that we're kind of looking for all these excuses and reasons why Oleksandr Usyk, who is pound for pound number one, battered Daniel Dubois. And it was all because, oh no, Daniel weren't quite right on the night. It doesn't matter if Daniel like went to a in yoga retreat in the morning rather than
Mm.
have a party in his house. He was getting beat and he was getting stopped that night.
Mm.
Usyk is too good, and the mindset is too strong for Daniel Dubois. It's just too much for him. But what I said, like Daniel Dubois is a big, strong lump, and if you let him get confidence, he is a real problem. If you take that confidence away from him early, he completely unfolds and breaks and falls
Mm.
apart. And basically, in the first minute or minute and a half or 2 minutes of the fight, you could see Dubois was coming out like a train, and Usyk was like not a rabbit in headlights, but he knows the power, he knows the danger, and he just decides I ain't letting this geezer back me up because it's going to be an
Mm.
horrible night. So bang with a jab or bang with a jab, and just second round start to walk him down, take the middle of the ring, use your feet, feint up and down, pepper him, just completely harass him, and let him spiral out of control. And basically, that's what he done. he completely destroyed him mentally, started to beat him up, and then stopped him.
Mm.
And I know there's, did he quit? Did he this? Did he
Mm.
that? At the end of the day, he just broke him. He didn't want to continue
Yeah.
because he just knew he was going to get pasted, and he didn't want to try and find a way back into the fight. He was done.
Mhm.
And Usyk has a way of kind of doing that to you. It breaks your heart. Done it millions of times before, and he's just an exceptional fighter.
That's what I was going to ask you there. You spoke about the mental side of the game that Usyk brings, and look, it's been a heavy topic over the last couple of days. In your opinion, do you think Dubois made a decision to not want to continue in a sense in that fight, putting it in a nice way?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the whole quit thing. To be honest with you, Lou, I've probably learned over the years. Like I heard Simon Jordan say in his interview, he was like, I can't say that he quit because I've never put a pair of gloves on. Blah 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 blah. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Mm.
Quitting is a strong word, right? I think a
Yeah,
fighter can use that word, and
yeah.
most fighters say that Dubois quit
Mm.
against Usyk. It was a heavy shot. He didn't just, in the fight against Joe Joyce. I know there was rumours of a eye injury, but he didn't actually get hit. He took a knee and he said, "I don't want to." That's quitting. Now, if that's intelligent quitting or not, it doesn't really matter. This was a very heavy left hand, right? The issue is that he was ready to get up at 6 or 7, and then once the ref counted to 10, I know the tower thing coming at 9.
Yeah,
He
it
just
did.
got
Yeah.
up and strolled to his corner. Like he didn't even look like he was on unsteady legs. Do you know what I mean? So that was the problem with it.
Mm.
Again, I will get criticised because yes, I'm AJ's biggest fan. When AJ couldn't get up against Daniel Dubois, he got up. Right? When his
Mm.
legs were completely gone, wobbling around all over the place, and he goes down and he's on his knees and he can't even get his balance, he gets up.
Mm.
Tyson Fury, when he got absolutely battered by Usyk in that round, all over every part of the ring, he refused to go down. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So what we saw in the Joyce fight, what we saw in Usyk 1, I mean, Usyk 1, in my opinion, was a quit from Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
Usyk 2, he got battered and he got hit with a very heavy shot,
Mm.
right? But he definitely decided he didn't want to carry on anymore.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? But there is a code amongst fighters, not against us,
Mm.
because I don't think it
Yeah.
should be like that. I mean, we
Mhm.
can do it because we're just the geezer down the pub going, "Oh,
Mm.
he shit himself."
Mhm.
Oh yeah. But the reality is, the fighters' code is, if you decide you don't want to continue, then you quit. That's what a fighter would say, right? Then you got people like Tyson Fury, who, when AJ got knocked out by Dubois, he's got a glass chin, he's shit, he's a shit. And you saw him scrambling to his feet every
Mm.
time, right?
Mm.
And still come back trying to win the fight. Now, this guy, who arguably has had enough, he's like, no, what do you expect from this guy? To,
Mm.
to die in a ring? It's like, well, one person's a shithouse has got no chin, and the other one, I don't know. Opinion's opinion. The reality is, it wasn't like the first Usyk fight. He got hit with particularly a heavy, heavy shot. But could he have got up? Yes.
Is there a point? Because I had a conversation with Paul Smith a couple of hours ago, and he was quite passionate on it, and he said sort of when you look at every defeat from Dubois, the ref has counted to 10, which is very
Yes.
rare that's happened from a headshot. And he said, is there a point where you question that at world level because when you look at all
Yeah.
the defeats that Dubois has had?
But Louis, everyone's different. There's no doubt that Daniel Dubois hasn't got the same physical and mental resolve as other fighters. But he's probably got a lot more arsehole than a load of fighters because don't
Mm.
forget, he walked out at Wembley in front of 90,000 and beat Josh.
Mm.
So it's not like his bum went in the moment. No, he got confidence early and he become a real problem in the fight. And that's what he does, Dubois. If you break his confidence and you make him ask himself questions, that's when he unravels and he unfolds. We've seen it multiple times. And you saw that on Saturday, but with the brilliance of Usyk and with some heavy hands. He
Yeah.
actually beat him up this time. Last time it was just he was just getting outboxed and he just went, oh, do you know what? Stiff, like it was a stiff right hand or whatever it was, and he was like, not for me. It's a weakness.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But
Mhm.
also it's a tough old game. Like,
Yeah, of course.
but also Daniel Dubois, the makeup of Daniel Dubois, as we've seen with the other stuff, it's not normal. None
Mm.
of it's normal. The whole setup's not normal. And this could be a part of that. Is it what's the word they use, the therapists? It's I don't know, can't even
Yeah.
remember. But like, when you've got something from the past that's affecting your future,
Yeah.
it's like,
Demons or
yeah, what'd you say?
yeah. I said demons, like you got demons from the
Like
pot, yeah.
demons, yeah, but more
Yeah.
like, when you get older, you start, why am I like this? What
Yeah.
happened? And clearly the setup is a little bit strange,
Mhm.
you
Well,
know?
yeah, we'll get into that. Obviously, a massive story sort of coming out last night. Footage emerging of a sort of a party, not what a party. Don Charles called it a gathering, so for that sake, I'll call it a gathering. At the Dubois house hours before he fought Alexander Usyk. Dubois was subsequently late to the arena. Whether that had any effect, that's not for me to say. I don't know. Um, Simon Jordan spoke about sort of on Talksport about 70 odd people being there. Damon didn't know who they were, asked his dad to go on a drive. I mean, like this, it's just an incredible story. I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
like, look, firstly, can I just say that this hasn't really got a lot to do with me, right?
yeah,
Neither am my fighter, but obviously you want an interview, you want to talk
yeah,
about what. So I feel like I'm a little bit handicapped here because when
yeah,
I give my opinion, not everyone's going to like it, and then people are going to say, "What's he even got? What's he got to
yeah,
do with him?" The answer is absolutely nothing. You're asking me about what I've seen, and you're asking me about this guy having a gathering for 70 people around his house in the afternoon
yeah,
of an undisputed heavyweight world championship fight. I don't think there's anyone that can possibly say this is a normal situation. I mean, the first thing I saw was, why couldn't he have had a gathering like that before the AJ fight? I mean, number one. Number two, apparently they did have a gathering,
they
but it
did,
was
yeah,
nowhere near as many
yeah,
people. So maybe I wish they would have invited more people for the AJ gathering. Like this is, again, like the whole setup is bizarre,
yeah.
right? In every Daniel Dubois fight, you got the dad screaming in the corner. And actually, to be fair to the dad, I was sitting next to Frank Warren when he fought Jarrell Miller. I think the dad got him through the Jarrell Miller fight. But I don't really want to go into I mean, their relationship, but how can anyone close to you feel like that is actually a good idea? I mean, Don says, no, it's good because it's good for the morale. Like these things are so draining, right? Having people around you, like going on to dinners, going to this, going to that. Like fight day is about consuming your energy. It's about, I mean, everyone's different on fight day. Some people like to be around people, not 70 people at a party, but some people like to be around their team and entourage. Some people like to completely be on their own. So maybe that does help relax Daniel Dubois. But the baffling thing is like, let's be honest, if they're really your mates, they ain't coming around your house to a party a few hours before the undisputed heavyweight world championship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just
Mhm,
go, no, mate, leave him alone. Like,
mhm,
and if you saw him, you wouldn't go up to him, stick your arm around him and go, hey, so Dan, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like, you just go, Dan, all right, mate, look, just having a little gathering here.
mhm,
Off you go. And I don't know the story. They're saying he went in his car
yeah.
to escape for a couple of hours. I mean, totally bizarre. Like,
Mhm.
turned up at the venue, had to what, like, I don't know. But like, but none of it's normal. And maybe if Daniel was normal in a normal situation, maybe he wouldn't have become world heavyweight champion. I have no idea. But it's like when I first saw the video, I was like, that's not from the day of the fight. And then I thought, actually, that's what Daniel was wearing when he turned
Yeah,
up at the venue.
yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I think
Look,
that the comeback and the next moves are going to be really interesting because there's going to be a lot of questions and there's going to be a lot, and if you come back and you lose, then it kind of all unravels really quickly. You know, Daniel's still a top heavyweight. Daniel's a great fighter. Daniel's a dangerous guy. But if all of a sudden now it's like questions, what's this, what's that, and like you end up just unraveling and you get beat again, which can happen. Like you've gone from on the verge of beating AJ on the verge of becoming undisputed champion to really being nearly outside of the top 15. So hopefully he can come back. I hope that people, I saw Tyson Fury's post and I agree with what he's saying a lot of it. I mean, he's very, you know, one rule for one rule for another. But the bottom line is we shouldn't just like, it's not like this guy's gone out and done something terrible.
Mhm.
He's presuming his dad or someone has organised this party. I very much doubt that Daniel Dubois has gone, yeah, let's have a
That's what I was
gathering
going to
and
say.
starts messaging 70 people on a group chat. Someone who clearly is not thinking right and perhaps doesn't have Daniel's best interests at heart has arranged this party. The fact that Daniel tried to get out or go in the car to get out shows you that he really didn't want to be there. So let's just like, I don't think this is his fault. I mean, but the one thing I'll say is when you're at elite level, everything has got to be absolutely spot on in your preparation. From the day that you start training camp till when you walk out of that tunnel, you've got to get as close to perfection as you possibly can. And to do moronic things like that, it just like it doesn't make sense. You're an elite athlete. You're fighting for the undisputed heavyweight world championship, the biggest prize in the sport. Give yourself every edge you can. Like, listen, I like Don Charles and I think he's like trying to back Daniel and all that, but he's not, he's a smart guy. He knows boxing. He cannot be possibly thinking this is great prep,
Mhm.
you know?
I mean, you mentioned there about how much Daniel had to do with it, and look, as I say, when you talk about the relationship between his dad, it's never for me or you to say or question it.
Mm.
But is there a point where it is a concern because you talk about you hear the things that Simon was accusing that happened, and when they spoke about sort of Daniel's dad wanting to try and get loads of people in the dressing room, and I know Dave Allen on TalkSport also spoke about like the corner being a mess, and I had the same view as Dave Allen, so I know where it's
But you
coming
know
from.
what,
Like,
Louis? The corner's always been a mess for Daniel
yeah.
Dubois, and it's not Don's fault. Don's a great trainer.
Mhm.
But when you've got like Daniel looks around for his dad in
Mhm.
between rounds.
Yeah.
Firstly, that's a weakness,
Mhm.
right? Because you can't be looking around for anyone. You listen to your trainer, and that's that. But he looks around for his dad. Daniel's dad screams throughout the fight and in the corner for the whole minute, right? Now listen, maybe that's been beneficial to him recently. Like I said, I think in the Jarrell Miller fight, it actually helped him get through the fight. But Don Charles is a great trainer, certainly a great trainer of heavyweights. And in a fight like that against Usyk, you have to listen to instruction. I'll be honest, in the first AJ fight with Usyk, he didn't really feel comfortable with the instruction.
Mhm.
Second fight, better, closer, but still not good enough to beat Usyk. But in that first fight, he was unsure of himself in that fight, And Daniel is a confidence guy. If his confidence ain't there, he cannot win. And I think when you're getting all kinds of instruction, surely that puts you on edge. It doesn't give you the clarity you need. One voice, Daniel, listen to me. This is what you got to do. Double jab, right hand, back him up, do it. You're like, okay, got it. You know, and it's like I wasn't there, and I don't know the truth, but listening to and I've seen it. I saw it against Hergovich. I saw it against Miller. I think it probably happened against AJ, but I was over the other side. So, it is what it is. But he needs that he needs the voice of his dad
Mhm.
because I've seen him on the stool, and he goes, okay, you know.
Yeah. Has there, I think, the natural next question be sort of now there's another undisputed champion, everything happens. There's been much conversation with AJ or your sort of idea on where this leads him. Now there's obviously Dubois
Yeah, I
taking
mean,
a
look,
defeat.
to be honest with you, AJ would love to fight Usyk again. But we're not idiots. We can't sit here and say, oh, yeah, everybody wants to see that fight because he's lost to him twice.
Mm.
First fight, yeah, it was close. I mean, especially after 10 rounds, but Usyk won the fight by 2 or 3 rounds. And actually, when you look back at that performance and you look back at Fury's performance, you start to realise how good those performances were against such an amazing fighter. So, like Tyson Fury, AJ would love to get another crack at Usyk because he's taken him on twice and he hasn't beaten him. But there aren't many people that are watching this interview who'd say, "Yeah, that's the fight we need to make next." And it's the same, quite honestly, in my opinion, for Fury against Usyk.
Yeah.
He was beaten fair and square twice. Two great fights. Tyson done great, but I don't know what's next. I mean, I would love to see Joseph Parker get a shot, but I'm not sure Usyk. I don't know what's appealing to him. I mean, he's such a great guy. I mean, he spoke so well in the presser after, and and he's obviously still motivated, and he's obviously still performing at the top level. But you don't really want to get beat at the same time by just going on too long. But I feel like if he retired now, having beaten most of the cruiserweight world champions on the road, having beaten AJ twice, Fury twice, Dubois twice. I mean, that's it. You've completed it, haven't you? I mean, what? I
Yeah.
don't know. So, each to their own. He deserves to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wanted to ask a few more things before I did let you go. You mentioned Shakur Stevenson earlier. Has there been much conversation with him, I guess, about an extension of his deal with Matchroom?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we've got a great relationship with Shakur and been speaking to Josh Dubin and Jay Prince. I think, to be honest, if you gave Shakur a choice of who he wants to be with, the answer would be Matchroom. But it all depends what the offer looks like and what the path looks like as well. And that's the same. It's the same with Canelo. I think we had 6 fights with him, and then it was like, I haven't got an option for you. And he's like, look, I love you, Eddie, but obviously, if you think I've got to go this way, and that'll
Yeah.
be the same with Shakur. Hopefully, we can present him with something. I know we're the best place for him to be. I've got his back. He's one of the best fighters in the world. I think we could go on an unbelievable run together. But I need to come up with the options, the path, and the money to make him go, yep, this is what we want to do. And I believe we can do that.
We obviously saw the British Boxing Board of Control order Jamie TKV against Fraser Clark. Obviously, it was a frustrating thing for yourself when you were looking at making TKV against Dave Allen. I know Dave Allen's gone on Instagram to say about sort of potential fight date in the work he spoke about. He's back running now because of the discussions he
Yeah.
had with a potential opponent. He's described it as someone as not just outside the top 10 heavyweights. So you're looking for a big fight for Dave Allen, would you say?
Dave's a weird guy, right? In a good way, right? And this is Dave's mentality. I don't really want to fight someone who's decent. I want to fight someone that's likely to beat me. I'm like, right, okay. And that's like such a confusing mindset for a fighter. Normally, obviously, fighters are brave, but they don't really want to go in with someone who's really dangerous that could beat him. Because he's saying if I don't have fear, I might not get myself up for it. And I'm not saying that's right, but that's just my head.
Mm,
Right?
yeah.
You've got to deal with Dave in a real specific way. So when we looked at the Jamie TKV fight, he said, I'll take that fight because it's for the British title. I'm not really motivated to fight Jamie TKV, but I'd love to win the British title. And there you go. The Commonwealth title had already been agreed for that fight as well.
Mm,
Okay. So then I speak to Ben Shalom and Jamie TKV, and Jamie TKV signs the contract to fight Dave Allen. Great payday, great opportunity. Boxer are on it. They're just going to finalise everything, sign it as well, and then we're going to send it to the board and say, look, we've made this fight for the. We'd like this to be sanctioned for the British title, of which I believe, with a signed agreement and a Commonwealth title, they would have done. 4 weeks later, we still hadn't heard from Boxer, right? And Jamie TKV's guys are calling me saying, "Have you heard from him?" I'm like, "No, mate, look, guys, you're getting mugged off here."
yeah.
So I don't want to interfere, but they're not. They haven't come on to us. In the meantime, they're pushing the board to order Fraser Clark against Jamie TKV, even though TKV has told them, "I want to fight Dave Allen for this money. This is a massive opportunity for me. Make that fight." So then the board, Boxer run the timeout. The board ordered Fraser Clark against Jamie TKV. And now we're left saying, well, do we do Jamie TKV for the Commonwealth title? So I go back to Ben Shalom and I go back to Jamie TKV. But at this point, Jamie TKV's team, Barry Smith, are fuming.
Mm,
Please just still make the fight for the Commonwealth title. We want to fight Dave Allen, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, sweet. Send him an email saying, we can make the fight for the Commonwealth title.
mm.
They call me today. Ben Shalom says to me, I'll get back to you by Tuesday. Promise, promise, promise. They called me today. What's that? I said, guys, it's over. No, 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 no. Let me speak about it. Yeah. And then Shalom says, no, I'll get back to him tomorrow or something like that. It's all bullshit, right? I'm in the middle of it speaking. I've got Jamie TKB's team moaning at me. Well, what should we do? What I said, I don't know. I don't even represent you. Go away. I don't want to deal with it. Speak to your promoter. You've been mugged off.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the meantime, Dave Allen's sending me these names and I'm sending him names of like these absolute monsters, right? And I'm like, Dave, I mean, one of them, obviously, we're not fighting him because I just feel like he's too old and will be criticised. But he's Luis
Too.
Ortiz, right?
Yeah.
No one really wants to fight Luis. Why would you fight Luis Ortiz? He's 46. He's still very dangerous, and he's not really fighting that much anymore. But the
Mm.
other names that I'm putting forward are either big names or fucking horrible, dangerous grizzly bears that you just don't
Yeah.
want to fight. And Dave's going, "Oh yeah, I'll fight him. I'll shit my pants if I fight him, and I'll train really hard." I'm like, Dave, you really are a unique individual. Do you know what I mean? But that's where we're at with it. So the answer is on October the 11th, Dave Allen will be in a massive fight at Sheffield Arena.
Okay.
And I can't tell you it'll be clever matchmaking either, because it probably
Okay.
won't be. But we're going for it. And what the intention is to go for it against a big name, perhaps a dangerous fighter, and prove ourselves in the running for Wilder, for Parker, for all these
Mm.
guys. And if he beats who he goes in with on October the 11th, he will land one of those big fights for 7 figures plus, most likely.
Okay.
So he's up for it. He's rolling the dice, and you've got to take your hat off to him. But he is one
Mhm.
strange geezer, and I
I
love him
love
to
that.
bits. But that's where we are.
I love that. Is there a potential working date for Ben Eubank Jr. too for November? Because obviously 22nd is taken up by the ring card. Has there been discussions over obviously
Yeah, I
over full
spoke to
potential
Seller and
date?
Ring yesterday. Look, I think they were quite pissed off to start with, and obviously once the dust settles, it's like, well, you've still got this massive fight.
Mm.
What do you want to do? You know. So they came to us and said, look, if it was end of October or beginning of November, would you be okay with that? And we said, not really, but do we have a choice? I mean, you've got us under contract till the end of the year for the fight. So it's really up to you. What we know is one thing's for sure, the terms will be the same as we have signed for. Yeah, yeah, no problem. So I think there's a lot more chance of the fight happening now than there was 4 or 5 days ago.
Mm. Okay.
But there's nothing concrete right now. There is a chance that fight could land end of October, early November, but we'll have to see.
Okay, interesting stuff. Obviously you did have to ask about a potential announcement on that autumn or end of summer schedule. I know you spoke about October the 11th.
Mm.
Look, Crocker Donovan too. I mean, a lot of people talking about September 13th for that date. Yeah, I guess any sort of confirmations on
Yeah,
that
that
over the
one's
next month?
imminent.
Yeah.
So get ready for the biggest night in Irish boxing history. I mean, this is going to be. We nearly announced it today, but
Okay.
I think tomorrow could be the day. And we will be in Ireland on Monday for a massive press
Wow.
conference. So, yeah,
I mean, the obvious question there is that is obviously the same day as Canelo Crawford.
yeah.
And I know
Different time.
obviously the
Yeah.
big
I
thing is
mean,
different time
yeah,
zones,
completely.
different.
I mean, look, that fight will be taking place at 2 p.m. local time for
Mm,
Canelo Crawford, which will be 10 p.m. local time. So the two cards won't mix at all.
mhm.
Obviously, it's not going to affect the live gate. We're going to smash this. You know, it's a big stadium, but it's going to be a historic night for Ireland. So yeah, it's just a big day of boxing.
Mhm. Okay, interesting stuff. Look, Eddie, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. Always good to catch up, and I look forward to a big summer and autumn in
Yeah,
Bam.
mate.
Appreciate, mate.
Can't
Top
wait. Cheers,
man.
Louis. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye bye.